Dogworks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dogworks. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com.
Start your day tomorrow with The Daily Dog with Michele Forto, the morning podcast on Dogworks Radio. Apple Podcast reviewer Patty Christensen calls it funny, smart, and filled with all the info I want to know about dogs. I love this show. Wake up with The Daily Dog. Available on Dogworks Radio on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your shows.
You are listening to The Daily Dog with your host, Michele Forto. The Daily Dog offers training advice, tips and tricks, and maybe even a book or movie review, too.
Hello and welcome, everybody. It's Michele Forto with The Daily Dog. We're going to continue our segment on influential people in modern dog training. Dunbar and Pryor. In the mid to the late 1980s, dog trainers began to move away from training procedures that were based primarily on negative reinforcement and punishment methods. Positive reinforcement became the centerpiece of many training philosophies. Dr. Ian Dunbar, a veterinarian and animal behaviorist, was vividly aware that many people were uncomfortable and even dead set against the use of aversive corrections. In response, Dunbar developed a positive motivational training procedure that revolved around the use of food rewards. Treat training had arrived. Dunbar was also instrumental in the formation of the Association of Pet Dog Trainers, ADPT, in 1997. Karen Pryor's contributions to the dog training world could very well fill an entire book, and a large one at that. Pryor is a scientist, animal trainer, seminar leader, and writer that bridged the chasm between scientific conditioning principles and mainstream application with real-world situations that the average person could identify with. In her 1984 best-selling book, Don't Shoot the Dog, she explained the principles of operant conditioning that she had learned while working with marine animals in a language that the average pet owner could understand and, more importantly, apply. Her seminar showed how these same principles could provide a training method that was one more friendly and positive. Pryor's clicker game was a stroke of genius in conveying the concept of a secondary or conditioned reinforcer to trainers and pet owners alike. Thank you for joining us for our influential people in modern dog training. The next segment we'll be starting next time is the principles of learning and behavior, and we hope that you continue to join us for these series. Up next is our breed of the day, the Shetland Sheepdog. As its name implies, is a working collie in miniature. There is little doubt that the small working collie from which came the modern show collie, evolving on larger lines, was likewise the progenitor of the Shetland Sheepdog, evolving on smaller ones. It was assisted in process by the environment of the Shetland Islands, which produced diminutiveness in all its stock, and by crosses with other breeds residing in, if not indigenous to the islands. The Shetland Islands themselves are not conducive to abundance of fodder or flock, made up as they are of rugged rocks on which only meager vegetation can survive, and surrounded by the sea, which brews frequent and severe storms. Small wonder that only the hardiest of both man and beast, and the smaller, could find sustenance. The actual origin of the breed cannot be traced by reference to records, as none were ever written. Tradition makes the dogs as old as the working collies of Scotland, which frequently came to Shetland as the breed's forebears, and as old as the islands themselves. As the islands were isolated from the trend of travel, the little dogs were a long time coming to the ken of dog-loving folk. Thus, the breed did not take its place on the show bench until well along in the present century. The year 1909 marked the initial recognition of the Sheltie by the Kennel Club in England. Not until 1914 did the breed obtain separate classification as Shetland Sheepdogs, not Shetland Collies, because of pressure brought to bear by the collie breeders. The first challenge certificate was awarded to the breed in 1915, after which World War I put a stop to all progress for the next few years. The first Shetland Sheepdog registered by the American Kennel Club in 1911 was Lord Scott, imported from Shetland by John G. Sherman, Jr. of New York. The American Shetland Sheepdog Association, parent club of the breed, was organized at the Westminster Kennel Club show in 1929 and held its first specialty show in 1933. General appearance of the Shetland Sheepdog. Preamble: the Shetland Sheepdog, like the Collie, traces to the Border Collie of Scotland, which transported to the Shetland Islands and crossed with small, intelligent, long-haired breeds and was reduced to miniature proportions. Subsequently, crosses were made from time to time with Collies. This breed now bears the same relationship in size and general appearance to the rough Collie, and as the Shetland Pony does to some of the larger breeds of horses. Although the resemblance between the Shetland Sheepdog and the rough Collie is marked, there are differences which may be noted. The Shetland Sheepdog is a small, alert, rough-coated, long-haired working dog. He must be sound, agile, and sturdy. The outline should be so symmetrical that no part appears out of proportion to the whole. Dogs should appear masculine, bitches feminine. The trotting gait of the Shetland Sheepdog should denote effortless speed and smoothness. There should be no jerkiness, nor stiff, stilted up and down movement. The drive should be from the rear, true and straight, dependent upon correct angulation, masculation, and ligamentation of the entire hind quarter, thus allowing the dog to reach well under his body with his hind foot and propel himself forward. Reach of stride of the foreleg is dependent upon correct angulation, masculation, and ligamentation of the forequarters. Together with correct width of chest and construction of rib cage, the foot should be lifted only enough to clear the ground as the leg swings forward. Viewed from the front, both forelegs and hind legs should move forward almost perpendicular to ground at the walk, slanting a little inward at a slow trot. Until a swift trot, the feet are brought so far inward toward center line of the body that the tracks left show two parallel lines of footprints actually touching a center line at their inner edges. There should be no crossing of the feet nor throwing of the weight from side to side. Faults: stiff, short steps with a choppy, jerky movement, mincing steps with a hopping up and down, or a balancing of weight from side to side, often erroneously admired as a dancing gait, but permissible in young puppies. Lifting at front feet in hackney-like action resulting in loss of speed and energy, a pacing gait. The temperament of the Shetland Sheepdog is intensely loyal, affectionate, and responsive to its owners. However, he may be reserved toward strangers, but not to the point of showing fear or cringing in the ring. Faults: shyness, timidity, or nervousness, stubbornness, sappiness, or ill temper. Thank you for listening to The Daily Dog. Again, we hope you tune in next time.
Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michele Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com.
If you like our podcast, there are a few things you can do. You can take a couple of minutes and go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. You can also check out all of our DogWorks Radio sponsors and promotions in our show notes. Another thing you can do is go over to Facebook, like our Facebook page, and one last thing, please tell all of your friends by spreading the word about DogWorks Radio. Thank you so much for listening to us. We really appreciate you.
DogWorks Radio is produced by Robert Forto. Logo art by Angry Squirrel Studios. DogWorks Radio is produced in conjunction with KVRF 89.7 in Palmer, Alaska.
For dog training advice, you can contact Alaska DogWorks at 907-841-1686 or visit their website at alaskadogworks.com. If you have a show idea or would like to be a guest, please contact us by sending an email to live@dogworksradio.com.